Mubyeyi urifuza guteganyiriza umwana wawe ejo heza, gana mu mashuri ya apejerwa ariyo Lycée de Ruhango-IKIREZI hamwe na Emeru Intwari. Muri Lycée de Ruhango-IKIREZI tubafitiye amashami akurikira: Culinary Art cyangwa se ibijyanye n'ubutetsi, hari level 1, level 3, level 4 ndetse na level 5. Food and Beverage Services tubafitiye level 3, level 4 ndetse na level 5. Tubafitiye kandi Accounting cyangwa se ibaruramari level 3, level 4 ndetse na level 5. Tubafitiye n'ubukanishi bw'amamodoka mu byiciro bikurikira: Auto Engine Technology level 3, Auto Transmission and Control System Technology level 4, Automobile Transmission and Control System Technology level 5. Tubafitiye n'ubwubatsi Masonry level ya 3, level ya 4 ndetse na level ya 5. Tubafitiye Tourism ubukerarugendo level ya 3, iya 4 ndetse n'iya 5. Turabibutsa ko tubafitiye n'icyiciro rusange Tonkome. Naho muri Emeru Intwari tubafitiye amashami y'umwaka umwe akurikira: Automotive Technology ubukanishi bw'amamodoka level ya mbere, Hairdressing ubwiza no gutunganya umusatsi level ya mbere, Tailoring ubudozi level ya mbere, Masonry ubwubatsi level ya mbere. Muri aya mashuri yombi tubafitiye abarimu b'inzobere harimo n'abaturuka hanze y'igihugu. Tubafitiye kandi n'amacumbi y'abakobwa ndetse n'ay'abahungu. Abanyeshuri bacu bakora ingendo shuri mu gihugu ndetse no hanze yacu. Tubaha umwanya wo kwimenyereza umwuga mu bigo bijyanye n'ibyo biga. Dukorera kandi graduation abanyeshuri basoje amasomo yabo. Aya mashuri aherereye mu mujyi wa Ruhango hafi ya gare. Ku bindi bisobanuro mwaduhamagara kuri 0788636219 cyangwa se 0722356668. Mwanaduhamagara kandi kuri 0788836213 cyangwa se 0788202285. Mwanadusura kuri website y'ishuri www.apejerwa.ac.rw. Umurimo ukozwe neza utuma batugirira icyizere.
Hello everybody, I'm Udashimima Joseph. We are going to study the module which called the perform hydraulic valve repairing. We have the repair hydraulic valve. Yes, we are going to show or to see how to repair or how to maintain the hydraulic valves and how it works. Yes, we are going to show or to see today how the hydraulic valves works. Our session, while reading and after studying this session, you will be able to understand and appreciate the use of fluid power. Because this hydraulic valve, it has power. Differentiate between fluid power systems and the fluid transport systems, and how to recognize and explain the advantages of the fluid power, and describe the basic or working principle of the hydraulic power systems. At the end of this session, I hope that everyone or everybody who watch this session is able to do these objectives. The fluid system is applicable on the vehicles which unload or unpack itself. For example, unload the stones or the sand, where the driver to the hand level, which is on the directional control valves, that gives the fluid direction to lift up or drop down the lily body on this vehicle. And this system is used also on heavy hydraulic cranes to pack other vehicles. This is the example of the hydraulic cranes. This is which is pack other vehicles. This is the other hydraulic cranes which is pack the other vehicles the sand. On these hydraulic cranes we have some component. For example, this part is called the hydraulic cylinder. It has the load. This load, it can go up or it can forward for lifting the sands to the other vehicles. It's the reason why we are going to deal with this piston. We used or works with the hydraulic fluid. This session, it has some advantages. On these advantages, almost unlimited power can be produced and maintained. This system or hydraulic fluid is to be maintained. Advantage of this fluid power systems, it has almost unlimited power system can be produced and maintained. And easy and complete control. It is very easy to control and how to be maintained. A natural springless that can show and reduce the shocks in the system. Means what this system is very comfortable because we used the fluid. The component can be at a distance with quickly power transfer and little power loss. When working or when we use this system, these fluid power systems, there is no need more power because it is the little power loss. Yes, today we are going to deal with the learning unit which called describe the hydraulic valves, which has the learning outcomes which called the identifying hydraulic valves types. Before to start or to begin our session, we have to see many types or major types of hydraulic valves we used in our systems. Valves are control of the hydraulic valves systems. They regulate the pressure, direction, and the volume of oil to flow in the hydraulic circuit. Means what we have three major or three main types of types of valves. These valves can be divided into three major types. We have directional control valves, pressure control valves, and volume control valves. This is the main or major three types of valves we use in our hydraulic sector or in our hydraulic systems. Then let's use or show the construction of those valves. Here on the sketch we have the constructions of those valves. Here we have the pressure control valves. The second one is the directional control valves. The third one is volume control valves. As you see, those have different shapes because it's differentiated according to their function. As here we see, this is pressure control valves. On the first figure, we have red two color on this pressure control valve. We have a red one and the blue one. And this one, this is the bore. Then this is the spring. As you see, in the second figure, we have some lower head. Then, as you see where this bore is open, it is not attached on this part here, with the compared on the first figure. Completely closed this spot. On the second figure, the bore is less or give the passage through the fluid comes from this side to the other side. It's the reason why we make the lower head. That is means the fluid flows to this direction. This ball is opened with the pressure, the fluid pressure comes to this side, then compress this ball, compress the spring, then the fluid let's pass through in this spot, then goes to the other side to do works or to do to lift. As we have seen on the first, we have seen that this fluid, it can be lift up the lily body of the some vehicles, or it helps to park the other vehicles on the hydraulic cranes. Yes, then you have the second figure, which called the directional control valve. Directional control valve means what this figure, on the first figure, we have the arrowhead shows this load goes forward. This port is communicated with this port. This port means what? The fluid comes from here, passes through out or outside of this load, then pass through on the other port. This port, as you see, is still closed, but this port is opened and is connected, or we have communicated with this port when this load goes forward. But on the second sketch, this load is come back because we have the load which indicates the directional, that is the load comes backward. This spot is this red one is the fluid pressure. Fluid pressure on this spot is communicated on this spot as differentiated on the first figure. The red color is the one port to the second port. That was on the first figure, where it was the blue one is red one. Means what? Means this port is communicated to this port. This port is closed. This is the directional control valve, the directional control valves. On the last figure, we have the volume control valves. This volume control valve shows how the volume or the rate of the fluid cross or passes through to the hydraulic systems. Here on the first figure, we have the red color only, but as you see, well, this just nut gives the space here. This arrowhead shows that the fluid goes through freely on these volume control valves. We see that the digestible nut goes down or low down. When you screw down or close or decrease this volume or this space, means what? The fluid or the light or the of fluid passing on this spot, it is the same as the next part. Means what? This is the volume control valve. This volume control valve adjusts or regulates the quantity of the fluid that is through in our systems. Let's go to the directional control valves and show how it works or they function. The directional control valves control the direction of oil flow within any hydraulic system. This directional control valves gives the direction or the orientation of the fluid in our systems. They include this directional control valves. It has the subtitle or subtypes of valves. Firstly is check valves, spur valves, rotary valves, or pilot valves, control puppet valves, and hydraulic valves. Those are the subtypes of the directional control valves. Let me go on the volume control valves. Those volume control valves or flow control valves are used to reduce or to decrease the rate of flow in section of hydraulic circuit. It's to reduce or to decrease the quantity of fluid that is flowing in our hydraulic circuit, resulting in slowly actuator speed. Needle valves, flow control valves regulate oil flow in one direction. These flow control valves or volume control valves allow to regulate the oil flow in one direction, allowing free flow in the other opposite direction. Then let me go on the pressure control valves. All found in virtual every hydraulic system, and they assist in a variety of functions, from keeping systems pressures safety below and desired upper limit to maintain as set pressure in a part of a circuit. These pressure control valves as a function is keeping systems to work on a constant pressure, without changing the pressure we need in our hydraulic system. This pressure control valve to maintain constant or set a pressure we need in our system. The types include these types of pressure control valves include the subtypes, or which called the reducing or sequence counterbalance and the unloading valve. Then we have other valves which called the non-returning valves. These non-returning valves, it has the function of to allows a medium to flow in only one direction. These non-returning valves allows the fluid to go or to flow in one direction without reverse in other direction. A non-returning valve is intended to ensure that a medium flows through a pipe in the right direction, where pressure conditions may otherwise cause the reverse flows. The second function of these non-returning valves is to know or to orient gives orientation of the flow of fluid on the lead direction of our systems. Then those valves, it has the symbols. We use the many types of symbols in our hydraulic circuit, on our hydraulic systems. We start on the directional control valves symbols. Understanding valves symbols. We have many different types of symbols. Here we have the symbols. This is the symbols. We use them on the directional control valves. The first three is called the 2/2 wave valves. 2 means what? 2 means what? On these types of directional control valves, symbol, that is the directional control valve, which called the 2/2 wave valve. The two first means 2 port. The second two means the number of position. On our directional control valves symbol, this is the position. This is position 1. This is the position 2. It's the reason why we have a 2 position. And that 2 means number of port. The number of port for each in each position. Yes, the port. This is a port 1. This is a port 2. In each position, even in the second position, we have a two port. This is the port 1. This is the port 2. Yes. Just we have seen that the first one is the number of port in each position. The second 2 is the number is the number of position. Number of position. I'll show you. This is the port 1, port 2. In each position. This is the position 1, this is the position 2. Yes? Let's continue on the directional control valve, which called the 3/2-way valves. This directional control valve is differentiated on the first valve, on the directional control valve. This is the symbol of the directional control valve, which called the 3/2-way valve. This is the 3/2-way valve. Means what? This is the number of port. Then 2 is the number of position. Just we have seen that this is the port 1, port 2, port 3. In each position. On the second position, you have port 1, port 2, port 3. This is the second position. This is the first position. This is the second position. This is what we have: 3 number of port. Then we have number of position. Number of positions. Let me continue through the other types or other symbols of directional control valves, which called the 4/2-way valve. Means what? These types of directional control valves, it has 4 ports. 4 ports in each position. This is the port. This is the port. Then as you see, these types of directional control valves, which called the 4/2-way valve, is totally different on the first types of directional control valves. So this is the position 1. Then in the second position, we have a port 1, port 2, then port 3, port 4. Let me explain what called the port. Port is where or the fluid enter on inside the directional control valves, and where the fluid go up or extend out of the directional control valves. For example, in our circuit, we will see only we have the hydraulic circuit. We have other component which called the hydraulic pump. These pumps, fluid reservoir. Then this fluid goes up to supply, which called the hydraulic cylinder with the pressure. Then these directional control valves, we have other directional control valves, which called the 4/3-way valve. Explain on the directional control valves, which called the 4/3-way valve. We have the symbol. As you remember, this 4 means number of port. The 3, this is the number of position. number of positions. On these types of directional control valves, let me show you the number of ports. Firstly, let me show you the number of position. We have the position 1, 2, 3. This is the number of position. Then you have the number of port on each position. We have the port 1, port 2, port 3, port 4. On the second position, we have the number of port. Also, we have the port 4. Port 1, port 2, port 3, port 4. Then, in the third position, we have also the 4 ports. This is the port 1, port 2, port 3, port 4. Also, the same as the previous, the directional control valves. This is the directional control valves which called the 4 over 3 wave valve, the symbols. Then these valves or these types of directional control valves, it has the actuator or actuation method. On this position, we need to change this positioning according to the works you need to do. For example, just you have seen that these directional control valves or these valves we used on the hydraulic cranes. When you need that cranes to park the other vehicles, for example, the stones or the sand, we need to select or to actuate on the directional control valve. It's the reason why on the types of directional control valves, it has the method or the how you make an action which permit the cylinder on the hydraulic cranes actuate or works any work. We have the symbols of the actuation method. This is the symbols, and show you how make the symbols to directional control valve. For example, we take which symbols which called the level actuation or hand level actuation. This hand level actuation on the directional control valves we make on this side. This is the symbol of level or hand level actuation, which is actuate this directional control valve in order to make a work or in order to bring the fluid comes from hydraulic pump comes from to hydraulic tank or hydraulic reservoir. This fluid goes on the cylinder For example, this is simple sketch or simple circuit. That is, we show how the fluid circulates in our hydraulic system. Yes, as you have seen, this is the number of ports. Let me clean this one, then the number of position. Let me show you how actuate this hand level actuation on directional control valve, which called the 4/3 wave valves. On this port, when we connect it on the hydraulic pump, this port is called the P. Then this port is called the T. This port is called the A. This port is called the B. Let me explain you. These letters means this P means that the pressure from the pump, fluid pressure from the pump to supply on the cylinder to do any work. For example, on this cylinder we have a load which have, for example, yes, this fluid comes from the hydraulic tank or hydraulic reservoir, hydraulic pump. This pump supplies the fluid with the pressure to the cylinder, passes through in the directional control valve. As you see, in this position, there is no connection between this port P to the port A. Then the port T, there is no connection between the port B. Means that this position is the neutral position, as called the 0. This is the neutral position. Means that there is no action there on this hydraulic cylinder. Even if you need to do any action on the hydraulic cylinder, we have actuate this hand level actuation. Sorry, hand level actuation. This hand level actuation. When you select this hand level in this position, for example, here it has a three position. This is the hand level, but in 3 position. First position is off. Here is off. Is in neutral position. On this position is called the lower or backward. This position is the rise or forward. Let me explain you how this lever is actuated in order to lift up this load or come back on the initial position of this cylinder or hydraulic cylinder. When you select this hand lever in the position of rise, for example, this lever comes in this position. Yes, same as here. This level, when selected in this position, this is rise. Yes, means what? This port P is connected to port E. Yes, this port P. Then this port T is connected to this port. Then port A is connected here. Then port B is connected to this port. Let me show you how it is. Yes, this is port P from pump. Yes. This is port T. From the cylinder, let me clean this port. Yes. Then port B connected to this one. When the pump is rotated, the fluid supply from the hydraulic reservoir to the hydraulic cylinder. This is the hydraulic cylinder. This is hydraulic cylinder. Passes through in this directional control position. The fluid comes from the hydraulic reservoir, passes through in the hydraulic pump. In this port, P means the pressure or from pump. Passes through in this way. This is the way. Way connected to port A, then passes through in this chamber. The fluid comes in this chamber with high pressure. Then press or push this piston. Then this piston is connected to this rod. The rod is where it has the weight of or the rod. This rod comes in this direction or comes back. Forward, go up or lies this rod. Then here we have the other fluid in this chamber. This is called the rod chamber. This fluid comes from this way, then connected port B to port T. T means tank or reservoir. Means what? This fluid comes back to the reservoir. Then this is when you select or you actuate hand level in this position for rising or for forward. Then let me see how this rod at the end of this action, the rod, for example, comes here. So we need that this rod comes on the initial position. It's the reason why you need to select or to actuate on the hand level on the other position. This position on the lower position or the backward. That is just you have seen that this rod comes out or lies or forward in the hydraulic cylinder. Means what? We need to bring the piston and the rod on the inside. We need to actuate the hand level on the lower position. We need to do this one. This is the lower. This is the lower. When you select or actuate on the hand level in the lower position, in the hydraulic on the directional control valves, change the position. This is port is P, then this is port is T, this port is A, and this port is B. Let me show how those connect. Yes, this is the port P, comes from the hydraulic pump. Yes, connected to port P. Then DT is the return to the tank or return to the hydraulic reservoir. It's the reason why we must connect to the return. Then the port A do this. This hydraulic pump gives the fluid pressure, comes from the pump to the port P to the port B. This fluid pressure comes to this chamber, which called the Rod chamber. Then this fluid applicable to or apply the pressure to the piston and push to this direction. Means what? This rod and the pistons comes on the initial position. Then the fluid was here in this chamber, which called the piston chamber. It comes back to the port A. Then this fluid comes to the T. T means the tank or means the reservoir. Then comes back to the hydraulic reservoir. Means what? Finally, the rod and the piston comes on the initial position, because the fluid pressure comes from the pump, passes up from the port P to the port B, comes into the rod chamber, push or press the piston to the initial position. Then the fluid was in this chamber, which called the piston chamber, comes from the port A to the port T, comes from the hydraulic reservoir. Let me continue on the pressure control valves. We have different types of or different symbols of pressure control valves. As you have seen on the symbols, in general, the function of these pressure control valves in our hydraulic circuit is to reduce or to decrease or to protect the overpressure or over hydraulic pressure, in order to avoid that this pressure it make destroy some hydraulic component. It's the reason why in hydraulic systems on hydraulic circuit we have installed these types of pressure control valves. For example, here we have which called the unloading valves. This is unloading valves. It allows the pump to bridge the pressure to adjustable pressure setting and then allow it to discharge to the tank. When we have high pressure, or high hydraulic pressure in our circuit, these unloading valves, it permits this fluid comes back to the tank, discharge this fluid pressure to the tank, in order to avoid that this pressure destroy the hydraulic component. For example, this high pressure can destroy directional control valves, can destroy hydraulic cylinder. Yes, it's the reason why we have what you call the pressure control valves as functioning in our circuit. Then we have the last valves, which called the non-returning valve. We have many or more different symbols of non-returning valves, but it has the function to allow to permit the flow of oil or fluid in one direction and blocks the flow in the other direction. For example, we have what's called the check valve or check valve. This is the symbol of check valve. This check valve, it permits or to allows the fluid flow from one direction and the blocks on the other direction. This valve it's composed by, this is the ball. This is the ball. The fluid comes from this direction. For example, this is fluid direction. This fluid is passing through in these check valves, can pass through in these valves because this fluid comes in with pressure. Then this pressure of fluid press this ball. Then let's pass through or pass through this pot. Then the fluid continue to pass in on the other side. But otherwise, the fluid comes from this direction. Yes? When the fluid comes from this direction, this fluid has more pressure. Then this pressure press this ball to this pot. Then close totally this pot in order the fluid can not pass on the other side. It's the reason why it's called non-returning valve. And as you have seen as a function, a low flow in one direction and the block flow in the other direction. Permit to flow in this direction, but block on this direction. As we have seen in our hydraulic system, here we have a simple circuit. Then let me show how or watch the animation on how the hydraulic systems or hydraulic circuit works.
Hi, welcome back. With the help of this animation and explanation, let's learn how a direction control valve and hydraulic ram exactly works. First, let's identify the components. That's the reservoir. Then we have the hydraulic pump. The symbol of the hydraulic pump is being shown there. Then that's our direction control valve. This is a 3-position 4-port direction control valve. That's our hydraulic ram or the hydraulic cylinder. And you can also see the piston and the piston rod also been marked over there. That's the head side of the hydraulic ram. It is called as the head side because the head side of the piston is coming at that section, and you can see the area of the cylinder at that position will be more when the piston is at center compared towards the rod side. You can see the rod side there. That's the side where the piston rod supporting the piston is coming. So the area will be less at that part of the hydraulic ram. There you can see the oil flow path. That's the path in each of the section through which the oil flows from the hydraulic pump towards the hydraulic ram. Now let's watch the animation and learn how exactly it works. Here we have 3 sections or 3 positions for the direction control valve. As you can see, 1, 2 and 3. The second position is the neutral position, which we'll be discussing first. In this position, the flow from the hydraulic pump, as you can see as the color indicates over there, the flow from the hydraulic pump goes directly back to the return line or towards the reservoir. So this is a neutral line. Here the flow is not connected towards the hydraulic ram, so work is not happening at this point of time in the hydraulic ram. And now let's move the direction control valve towards the right. So we are moving the direction control valve. Now the section 1 connects between the pump and the hydraulic ram. Here you can see the flow from the hydraulic pump. You can see the arrow mark over there. It's moving through the hose directly towards the head side of the hydraulic ram, and it pressurizes the hydraulic piston. So the piston gets the pressure at the head side, resulting in the piston to move towards the rod side. So the piston moves back towards the rod side. So the oil from the rod side moves through the return line and goes back towards the reservoir. That's how the hydraulic ram actually works when the direction control valve is at its position 1. Now let's see the other case. Now we are moving the direction control valve towards the position 3. So that's the position 3. Here the flow from the pump is getting reversed. You can see the flow is going towards the rod side of the hydraulic ram here. You can see the arrow mark. It hits the piston at the rod side, pressurizes the piston at the rod side, resulting in the piston to move towards the head side. So oil from the head side goes back through the return line. You can see it's going back through the return line towards the reservoir. So this is how actually this particular circuit works, how the direction control valve controls the flow or redirects the flow towards the hydraulic ram and resulting in it to work. So we believe you understand it's working.
Yes, as you have seen in our session, we have learned or we have studied many or more different symbols that is bridge the hydraulic circuit. Let me give you small exercise on which concern our session. Let me give you a sample of full exercise. Let me write here. Yes, this exercise, small quiz. Or sorry, short quiz. This question means the hydraulic circuit which is composed by the following hydraulic component. This is the hydraulic component. You have to bridge the hydraulic circuit or hydraulic system which is composed by these or hydraulic component in 5 minutes. Yes, let's help you to collect our short quiz. I'm going to bridge this hydraulic circuit. We have the 4/3 directional control valve, the hydraulic filter and loading valves, set pressure relief valve, double acting hydraulic valve, cylinder, spring loaded check valve, then hydraulic pump actuated by electrical motor, cooler and the hydraulic reservoir. Follow me how to bridge this hydraulic circuit. Let me start on the 4/3 directional control valve. This is the directional control valve which called the 4/3 wave valve. Which actuated by, for example, as you have seen, actuated by pedal. Yes, this is actuated by pedal. Then returned by spring on the other side. We have the spring on the other side. This is the directional control valve which called the 4/3 wave valve. Then we have which called the component which called the unloading, which called the spring loaded check valve. Then we have what called the unloading valve. This is the unloading valve. Then let me continue to hydraulic pump. This is hydraulic pump. which is actuated by the electrical motor. Yes, this is the electrical motor which actuates the, this is the symbol of electrical motor. This is the hydraulic valve. Then we have the hydraulic filter. Yes, this is the hydraulic filter. Hydraulic filter. This is the symbol of hydraulic filter. Then you have the hydraulic reservoir. Yes, this is the symbol of hydraulic reservoir. Vented hydraulic reservoir. Even here we have all the hydraulic reservoir. Then let's put it on the double acting hydraulic cylinder. Let me show you the symbol of double acting Don't forget to give the name of port. This port is called P. This port is called T. Then this port is called A. Then this is called B. Just you have seen that. This P means pressure from pump. Then T, this is return of fluid comes back to the hydraulic reservoir. Then you have other component which called what? Cooler. Then set pressure relief valve. Yes. Set pressure relief valve. We have what called the set pressure This is the set pressure relief valve. Then the last component is called the cooler. Let's name each component. This is double acting hydraulic cylinder. Then this is directional control valve, which called the 4/3. This is the spring loaded. This is spring loaded check valve. Then this is hydraulic pump. Then this is the electrical motor, which is actuate the hydraulic pump, electric motor. Then this is the set pressure relief valve. Then this is cooler. This is a hydraulic filter or oil filter. This is hydraulic tank or hydraulic reservoir. Then this one is unloading valve. This is how to build the hydraulic circuit according to this hydraulic component. I think so. It's clear. Yes. I hope so that all objectives. Yes. Then the next session we will run what about how the hydraulic valves, how to disassemble or reassemble or inspect, and how to repair when it is a troubleshooting. Yes, thank you for your kind attention. If there is somebody who has a question which concern about our session, contact me on 0784631 Thanks.
Mubyeyi urifuza guteganyiriza umwana wawe ejo heza, gana mu mashuri ya apejerwa ariyo Lycée de Ruhango-IKIREZI hamwe na Emeru Intwari. Muri Lycée de Ruhango-IKIREZI tubafitiye amashami akurikira: Culinary Art cyangwa se ibijyanye n'ubutetsi, hari level 1, level 3, level 4 ndetse na level 5. Food and Beverage Services tubafitiye level 3, level 4 ndetse na level 5. Tubafitiye kandi accounting cyangwa se ibaruramari level 3, level 4 ndetse na level 5. Tubafitiye n'ubukanishi bw'amamodoka mu byiciro bikurikira: Auto Engine Technology level 3, Auto Transmission and Control System Technology level 4, Automobile Transmission and Control System Technology level 5. Tubafitiye n'ubwubatsi masonry level ya 3, level ya 4 ndetse na level ya 5. Tubafitiye tourism ubukerarugendo level ya 3, iya 4 ndetse n'iya 5. Turabibutsa ko tubafitiye n'icyiciro rusange tonkome. Naho muri Emeru Intwari tubafitiye amashami y'umwaka umwe akurikira: Automotive Technology ubukanishi bw'amamodoka level ya mbere, Hairdressing ubwiza no gutunganya umusatsi level ya mbere, Tailoring ubudozi level ya mbere, Masonry ubwubatsi level ya mbere. Muri aya mashuri yombi tubafitiye abarimu b'inzobere harimo n'abaturuka hanze y'igihugu. Tubafitiye kandi n'amacumbi y'abakobwa ndetse n'ay'abahungu. Abanyeshuri bacu bakora ingendo shuri mu gihugu ndetse no hanze yacyo. Tubaha umwanya wo kwimenyereza umwuga mu bigo bijyanye n'ibyo biga. Dukorera kandi graduation abanyeshuri basoje amasomo yabo. Aya mashuri aherereye mu mujyi wa Ruhango hafi ya gare. Ku bindi bisobanuro mwaduhamagara kuri 0788636219 cyangwa se 0722356668. Mwanaduhamagara kandi kuri 0788336213 cyangwa se 0788222282. mwanadusura kuri website y'ishuri www.apejerwa.ac.rw. umurimo ukozwe neza utuma batugirira icyizere.